Fear and doubt are two of the most powerful forces holding people back from living the lives they truly desire. They creep into your mind, whispering that you're not good enough, not ready, or not grady, or not capable. They paralyze you, keeping you stuck in the same place, unable to move forward. But here's the truth: fear and doubt are nothing more than illusions. They're stories your mind tells you to protect you from discomfort or failure, but in doing so, they rob you of growth, opportunity, and fulfillment. Fear exists because you care about the outcome. It's a natural response to the unknown, to risks, and to stepping outside your comfort zone. But it's important to understand that fear isn't a stop sign, it's a signal. It's a sign that you're about to do something meaningful, something that challenges you, something that has the potential to change your life. The presence of fear doesn't mean you're on the wrong path. It often means you're exactly where you need to be. The problem arises when we let fear dictate our actions, or worse, our inactions. Too many people allow fear to control their decisions. They avoid pursuing their dreams because they're afraid of failing. They don't speak up because they're afraid of rejection. They stay in situations that no longer serve them because they're afraid of change. In doing so, they let fear win, and they miss out on the incredible opportunities that lie on the other side of it. Doubt often works hand in hand with fear. It's the voice in your head that questions your abilities, undermines your confidence, and convinces you that you're not worthy of success. Doubt can be insidious, creeping in even when you prepared, practiced, and planned. It convinces you to second-guess yourself, to overanalyze, and to hold back. But like fear, doubt is just a story. It's not a reflection of reality, it's a projection of your insecurities. Overcoming fear and doubt requires action. It's not about waiting for them to disappear, because they rarely do. Instead, it's about learning to move forward despite them. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the willingness to act in the face of it. Every time you take a step forward, no matter how small, you weaken the grip of fear and doubt. You prove to yourself that you're capable, that you can handle challenges, and that the worst-case scenarios you imagine rarely come true. One of the most effective ways to overcome fear and doubt is to focus on your why. Why do you want to achieve this goal? Why does it matter to you? When your why is strong enough, it can overpower the voices of fear and doubt. It becomes your anchor, your motivation, and your reason to keep going when things get tough. By keeping your focus on your purpose, you remind yourself that the discomfort of fear is temporary, but the rewards of perseverance are lasting. It's also important to reframe your relationship with failure. Many people fear failure because they see it as a reflection of their worth or a sign that they're not good enough. But failure is simply feedback. It's a natural and necessary part of growth. Every successful person you admire has failed countless times. They didn't let those failures define them, they let them teach them. Each failure is a lesson, a stepping stone, and an opportunity to get better. When you shift your perspective on failure, you begin to see it as a friend rather than an enemy. Another strategy to combat fear and doubt is to take control of your self-talk. The way you speak to yourself has a profound impact on your mindset. If you constantly tell yourself that you're not capable, that you're going to fail, or that you don't deserve success, you'll start to believe it. But if you replace those negative thoughts with positive affirmations, you can rewrite the narrative. Remind yourself of your strengths, your past successes, and your ability to overcome challenges. Speak to yourself the way you would speak to a friend who needed encouragement. Surrounding yourself with supportive people can also make a huge difference. When you're facing fear and doubt, it's easy to feel isolated and alone. But having a strong support system can remind you that you're not alone and that others believe in your potential. Seek out mentors, friends, or family members who will encourage you, challenge you, and hold you accountable. Their belief in you can bolster your own confidence and help you push past the barriers of fear and doubt. Fear and doubt are part of the human experience. Everyone feels them at some point, but not everyone lets them win. The key is to acknowledge them, confront them, and refuse to let them control you. You have the power to rewrite the stories they tell you. You have the power to take action, even when it's uncomfortable. And you have the power to achieve incredible things, not because you're fearless, but because you choose to act despite your fears. Failure is often seen as the enemy, a sign of weakness, or an indication that we're not good enough. But in reality, failure is one of life's greatest teachers. It's not something to be feared or avoided. It's something to be embraced and learned from. Failure isn't the end of the road. It's a necessary step along the path to growth and success. How we respond to failure determines whether it will hold us back or push us forward. When you face failure, it's natural to feel disappointed, frustrated, or even defeated. These emotions are part of the process, but they don't define the experience. What matters is what you do next. Do you let failure stop you in your tracks, or do you use it as fuel to keep going? The most successful people in the world have one thing in common: they've failed, often repeatedly. What sets them apart is their ability to see failure as an opportunity to refine their approach, gain new insights, and come back stronger. One of the most powerful lessons failure teaches us is resilience. Life will knock you down, it's inevitable. But every time you get back up, you build strength, character, and determination. Resilience isn't about avoiding hardship, it's about rising above it. Each failure you experience is a chance to prove to yourself that you're capable of overcoming challenges. It's in these moments of struggle that you discover your true potential. Failure also provides clarity. When something doesn't work out, it forces you to evaluate your approach, your strategies, and even your goals. It's a chance to pause, reflect, and adjust your course. Sometimes failure is a sign that you need to try a different method, learn a new skill, or approach the problem from a different angle. Other times, it's a reminder to reconnect with your why and ensure that what you're pursuing aligns with your values and passions. It's important to reframe the way you think about failure. Instead of seeing it as a personal flaw, recognize it as evidence that you're trying, that you're stepping out of your comfort zone, and that you're pushing yourself toward growth. If you never fail, it likely means you're not challenging yourself enough. Playing it safe may protect you from failure, but it also prevents you from achieving anything truly significant. The greatest accomplishments come from taking risks, and with risks come the possibility of failure. Think about how failure has played a role in innovation and progress. Some of the most groundbreaking inventions and ideas came after numerous failed attempts. Thomas Edison, for example, famously said, "I have not failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." When discussing his efforts to invent the light bulb, each failure brought him closer to success because he used it as a learning opportunity rather than a reason to give up. Failure also teaches humility and empathy. It reminds us that we're human, that we're not infallible, and that everyone struggles at some point. This perspective can help us connect with others, support them in their own challenges, and build stronger relationships. When you face failure, you understand the courage it takes to keep going, and you're more likely to encourage others to do the same. One of the keys to using failure as a stepping stone is maintaining a growth mindset. A growth mindset recognizes that abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort, learning, and persistence. When you approach failure with this mindset, you see it not as a reflection of your worth, but as a chance to grow and improve. You understand that failure isn't final, it's just part of the journey. Another way to turn failure into growth is to take ownership of it. It's easy to blame external circumstances or other people when things go wrong, but true growth comes from looking inward and asking yourself, what can I learn from this? What could I have done differently? Taking responsibility for your failures doesn't mean beating yourself up. It means empowering yourself to make better choices moving forward. It's also important to remember that failure is temporary. In the moment, it can feel overwhelming, but it's just one chapter in your story. The mistakes you make today don't define your future unless you let them. Each failure is a stepping stone, a lesson, and a building block for what's to come. The key is to keep moving, to keep trying, and to never lose sight of your goals. Failure is not the opposite of success, it's part of it. Every setback, misstep, and disappointment is an opportunity to learn, adapt, and grow. It's in the process of overcoming failure that you develop the skills, resilience, and character needed to achieve greatness. So the next time you face failure, don't see it as the end. See it as the beginning of a new opportunity to rise higher than before. Life is filled with challenges, uncertainties, and complexities. There are countless things outside of our control: other people's opinions, unforeseen events, or even how the world changes around us. Dwelling on these uncontrollable aspects often leads to frustration, anxiety, and a sense of powerlessness. But here's the truth: you don't have to control everything to make meaningful progress. What truly matters is focusing on what you can control and taking purposeful action in those areas. This shift in perspective can transform your life. Your time, energy, and attention are finite resources. When you waste them worrying about things beyond your influence, you drain yourself without making any meaningful impact. Instead, direct those resources toward areas where you can make a difference. Ask yourself, what can I do today, right now, to improve my situation or move closer to my goals? This simple question shifts your focus from problems to solutions, from helplessness to empowerment. For example, you can't control the outcome of every situation, but you can control your effort. Whether it's in your work, your relationships, or your personal goals, the level of commitment you bring is entirely up to you. Success isn't guaranteed, but giving your best effort is something you can always choose. And the more consistent your effort, the more opportunities you create for success to unfold. Similarly, you can't control other people's reactions or opinions, but you can control how you respond to them. There will always be critics, doubters, and naysayers, but their words only hold as much power as you give them. Instead of letting negativity consume you, focus on staying true to your values and goals. You can't change what others think, but you can control how you let it affect your mindset and actions. Your attitude is another powerful aspect within your control. Life will inevitably throw challenges your way, some small, some life-altering. While you can't always change the circumstances, you can choose how you perceive and respond to them. A positive, proactive attitude can turn setbacks into stepping stones and problems into opportunities. It's not about ignoring difficulties, but about approaching them with resilience and determination. Habits and routines are also areas where your control has immense power. The small, consistent actions you take daily shape your life over time. You can choose to develop habits that align with your goals, whether it's dedicating time to learning, practicing gratitude, or prioritizing your health. These habits may seem minor in the moment, but their cumulative effect is profound. Each day you choose discipline over complacency, you're building a foundation for long-term success. Another aspect within your control is how you spend your time. Time is one of your most valuable resources, yet it's easy to waste it on distractions, procrastination, or activities that don't serve your goals. By being intentional with your time, you can ensure that it's spent on things that matter most to you. This doesn't mean every moment needs to be productive. It's also important to rest, recharge, and enjoy life. But when you take ownership of your time, you gain the ability to align your actions with your priorities. Mindset plays a crucial role in how you navigate life's uncertainties. A growth mindset, the belief that you can develop your abilities through effort and learning, empowers you to face challenges with curiosity and determination. When setbacks occur, a growth mindset helps you focus on what you can learn rather than what you've lost. This mindset shift keeps you moving forward, even in the face of adversity. Focusing on what you can control also reduces stress and anxiety. Much of our mental and emotional energy is wasted on what-ifs and worst-case scenarios. But when you center your attention on actionable steps, you regain a sense of agency and calm. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by everything that could go wrong, you empower yourself to make progress, no matter how small. This approach also fosters gratitude. When you concentrate on the things within your control, you begin to appreciate the power you have to influence your life. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's lacking to what's possible, from limitations to opportunities. It reminds you that even in the face of challenges, you have the ability to take meaningful action. Life is unpredictable. There will always be factors you can't influence, and that's okay. What matters is how you choose to navigate the circumstances you face. By focusing on what you can control, your actions, attitude, effort, and mindset, you take ownership of your journey. This doesn't mean everything will go perfectly, but it does mean you'll be living intentionally, making the most of the opportunities within your reach. This perspective is liberating. It frees you from the burden of trying to control the uncontrollable and empowers you to make the most of your own potential. The question isn't whether life will challenge you, it will. The question is, how will you respond? When you focus on what you can control, you take the first step toward creating a life of purpose, resilience, and fulfillment. Each person has unique gifts, talents, and passions that make them who they are. These qualities are not meant to be hidden or suppressed. They're meant to be expressed, shared, and cultivated. Yet, too many people go through life conforming to societal expectations or playing it safe, afraid to stand out or take risks. This reluctance to embrace authenticity not only limits personal fulfillment, but also denies the world the benefits of your unique contributions. Living authentically, being true to who you are, requires courage, but it is one of the most liberating and impactful choices you can make. Authenticity begins with self-awareness. To live true to yourself, you must first understand who you are. This involves reflecting on your values, passions, strengths, and even your fears. What drives you? What brings you joy? What challenges you in ways that make you grow? These questions are essential because they help you identify what matters most to you. Without this clarity, it's easy to drift through life following a script written by others, whether that's societal norms, family expectations, or the opinions of peers. Being authentic also means embracing your imperfections. Society often pressures us to present a polished, idealized version of ourselves, but perfection is not real. It's a facade that disconnects us from others and ourselves. When you allow yourself to be vulnerable and honest about your struggles, you foster deeper connections and create space for growth. Authenticity doesn't mean being perfect. It means being honest about who you are, flaws and all. One of the biggest barriers to authenticity is fear of judgment, rejection, or failure. It's natural to want acceptance and approval, but when you base your choices on pleasing others, you sacrifice your own happiness and potential. True fulfillment comes from living a life aligned with your values and desires, not from conforming to others' expectations. The reality is that not everyone will understand or support your choices, and that's okay. What matters is that you are true to yourself. Living authentically also involves taking ownership of your decisions. When you align your actions with your values, you reclaim your power. Instead of being swayed by external influences, you become the author of your own story. This doesn't mean you won't face challenges or setbacks. It means that when you do, you'll have the confidence and clarity to navigate them in a way that feels right for you. Another key aspect of authenticity is pursuing your passions. Too often, people suppress their dreams because they fear they're unrealistic or impractical. But your passions are not random. They are deeply connected to who you are and what you're meant to contribute to the world. Ignoring them leads to regret, while embracing them leads to fulfillment. Whether it's a creative endeavor, a career path, or a cause you care about, pursuing your passions allows you to express your unique gifts and make a meaningful impact. Authenticity is not just about individual fulfillment, it also inspires others. When you live authentically, you give others permission to do the same. Your courage to be yourself can encourage someone else to step out of their own comfort zone. Authenticity creates a ripple effect, fostering a culture of openness, creativity, and empowerment. In this way, being true to yourself is not only a personal act, but also a contribution to the greater good. It's important to recognize that authenticity is a journey, not a destination. As you grow and evolve, so will your understanding of yourself. Staying true to yourself requires ongoing reflection, self-compassion, and adaptability. It's not about rigidly adhering to a fixed identity, but about continually aligning your choices with your values and aspirations. Living authentically also requires resilience, especially in a world that often rewards conformity. You may face criticism, misunderstandings, or even setbacks as you chart your own path. But these challenges are part of the process. Each time you choose authenticity over conformity, you strengthen your ability to stand in your truth. Over time, this builds a sense of inner peace and confidence that no external validation can provide. One of the most rewarding aspects of authenticity is the sense of alignment it brings. When your actions match your values and your life reflects your true self, you experience a sense of harmony and purpose. This alignment is deeply fulfilling because it's not dependent on external circumstances, it comes from within. It allows you to approach life with integrity, knowing that you are living in a way that honors who you are. Living authentically doesn't mean you'll never make mistakes or have doubts. It means you're willing to show up as yourself, to take risks, and to pursue what matters to you. It's about choosing courage over comfort, passion over complacency, and truth over pretense. When you live authentically, you not only create a life that feels meaningful to you, but you also inspire others to do the same. In doing so, you contribute to a world where individuality is celebrated and everyone is encouraged to share their unique gifts. Life is too precious to live half-heartedly or inauthentically. Embrace your fears, learn from failure, focus on what you can control, and be unapologetically true to yourself. By doing so, you'll not only create a life of purpose and fulfillment, but also inspire others to do the same. Your journey is unique. Live it fully and boldly. Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you something. How many of you woke up this morning feeling truly alive? Not just breathing, not just going through the motions, but truly alive. You see, life is not a rehearsal. It's the main event, the real deal. Every second we have is a gift, but too often we waste it. We waste it doubting ourselves, waiting for the perfect moment, or chasing things that don't truly matter. The clock doesn't stop for anyone, and it won't wait for you to get it together. Life is a gift, and it's one that often goes unappreciated until it's too late. We wake up every day with the opportunity to experience, create, and make an impact, but many of us treat life as though we'll get another chance, another shot, another tomorrow. But the truth is, we won't. This is it, this moment, this day, this life. It's not a rehearsal for something greater. It is the main event. Yet so often we find ourselves caught up in the mundane, distracted by trivialities, or paralyzed by fear and doubt, forgetting that each second we're alive is a treasure. Think about it. The odds of your very existence are astronomical. Every event, every decision, every twist of fate led to you being here right now. The gift of life is nothing short of miraculous. Yet how often do we pause to acknowledge that? How often do we let the weight of this realization inspire us to live fully with purpose and passion? Instead, many of us squander our days focusing on things that don't matter, holding grudges, worrying about the opinions of others, or endlessly chasing material possessions that, in the grand scheme of things, hold no real value. We live in a world that's constantly pulling us in different directions. The noise is endless: social media, work, responsibilities, comparisons. It's easy to get lost in the shuffle, to forget that life is happening right now. Not tomorrow, not next week, but in this very moment. The gift of life is about more than just being alive. It's about feeling alive. It's about waking up each day with a sense of gratitude and determination to make the most of the time we've been given. But what does it mean to truly value life as a gift? It starts with shifting your mindset. Stop seeing time as something you have in abundance and start treating it as something precious. Every second that passes is a second you'll never get back. The question is, how are you spending it? Are you using your time to grow, to learn, to connect, to pursue the things that set your soul on fire? Or are you letting it slip through your fingers, consumed by distractions, fear, or complacency? Life as a gift means recognizing the power of choice. Each day you are presented with countless decisions that shape the course of your life. You can choose to spend your time wisely or waste it. You can choose to focus on your goals or let them fall by the wayside. You can choose to nurture relationships or take them for granted. The power lies in your hands. And when you start seeing life as the extraordinary gift that it is, you begin to make different choices, better choices. When we fail to appreciate life as a gift, we run the risk of drifting. We become passive observers instead of active participants. We let days turn into weeks, weeks into months, and months into years, all while telling ourselves, I'll get to it eventually. But eventually doesn't come. And before we know it, we're looking back, wondering where all the time went and why we didn't do more with it. The reality is that life is unpredictable. No one knows how much time they have. That's not a reason to live in fear. It's a reason to live with urgency and intention. Treat each day as an opportunity to leave nothing undone, nothing unsaid, and nothing untried. Do the things you've always dreamed of doing. Take the risks that scare you. Say the words that are in your heart. Because when you see life as a gift, you understand that it's not meant to be hoarded or saved for later. It's meant to be spent fully and freely. The beauty of life lies in its impermanence. If we had forever, we might not value it the same way. The fleeting nature of life is what makes it so precious. Knowing that your time is limited can either be a source of fear or a source of motivation. Let it be the latter. Let it inspire you to live boldly, love deeply, and act decisively. Every sunrise is a reminder that you've been given another chance. Another chance to be better, to try again, to make a difference. It's a gift, a priceless one. And like any gift, it's up to you to decide what you'll do with it. Will you unwrap it with excitement, embrace it with gratitude, and use it to its fullest potential? Or will you let it sit there, unopened and underappreciated? The choice is yours. You have today. You have this moment. What will you do with it? Too often, people hold themselves back, waiting for what they perceive as the perfect moment to take action. They tell themselves they'll start chasing their dreams when the timing is better, when they feel more prepared, or when life slows down. But the truth is, that perfect moment doesn't exist. It's an illusion we create to justify our hesitation, to give ourselves an excuse to stay in our comfort zones. The reality is that life will never perfectly align for you to start. You have to begin despite the imperfections. Waiting for the perfect moment is like waiting for all the traffic lights in a city to turn green before you start your journey. It simply won't happen. There will always be challenges, uncertainties, and things you feel you need to fix or prepare for before you take that first step. But those obstacles aren't signs to stop. They're part of the journey. Growth, progress, and success aren't found in waiting. They're found in moving forward despite the challenges. When you delay action, you're not just postponing your goals, you're also missing out on valuable time. Time is a resource you can never get back. Every day you spend waiting is a day you could have spent learning, growing, and getting closer to your dreams. Even small, imperfect steps forward are better than standing still. Progress, no matter how slow, will always outpace procrastination. Think about the people who achieve extraordinary things. They didn't wait for ideal circumstances. They created opportunities in the middle of imperfection. They started businesses in difficult economies, pursued passions despite doubters, or took risks when they felt far from ready. What separates them from those who hesitate is their willingness to act even when conditions aren't perfect. They understand that progress is messy, and success isn't about avoiding failure. It's about embracing it, learning from it, and continuing to move forward. Hesitation is often rooted in fear. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, or fear of making the wrong choice. But here's the thing, fear will always be there. It doesn't magically disappear when the circumstances change. The antidote to fear isn't waiting, it's action. When you act, you start to build momentum. With each step you take, your confidence grows and the fear begins to shrink. You realize that failure isn't as catastrophic as you imagined and that every misstep teaches you something valuable. The idea of the perfect moment also ties into the myth of being ready. Many people believe they need to have everything figured out before they start. But the truth is, no one ever feels fully ready. Readiness is something you cultivate along the way. It's in the doing, the trying, and the failing that you become prepared. The first step is often the hardest because it requires you to trust yourself and your ability to figure things out as you go. Perfectionism can be another obstacle. Waiting for everything to be just right can paralyze you. You want the conditions to be flawless, the timing to be impeccable, and your efforts to be without error. But life doesn't work that way. If you wait for perfection, you'll wait forever. The path to success is paved with imperfection. The projects you start will be messy. Your first attempts will be flawed, and you'll face setbacks along the way. But that's okay. Imperfection is a sign of effort. And effort is what moves you forward. The world doesn't reward intentions, it rewards actions. No one succeeds by sitting on the sidelines thinking about what they want to do someday. You have to step onto the field, take the risks, and put in the work. Action, no matter how small, creates a ripple effect. One step leads to another, and before you know it, you've built momentum. But that momentum can only start when you take the first step today, not someday. Every moment you spend waiting for the perfect time is a moment you could be using to grow and learn. Mistakes and missteps aren't the enemy, and action is. You don't have to have all the answers to begin. You just have to start. The path will reveal itself as you move forward, and the lessons you need will come when you need them. Don't fall into the trap of thinking you have all the time in the world. Life moves quickly, and opportunities don't wait. The longer you hesitate, the more you risk losing the chance to do something meaningful. If you have a dream, a goal, or a desire, act on it now. It doesn't matter if you're scared, unsure, unprepared. What matters is that you start, you'll learn, adapt, and grow along the way. The perfect moment isn't coming. It's already here. The time to start is now.